up, guys? Welcome back to El Merengue Culé. As you have seen, my hairs are standing up because it is time for the one and only competition. The Kings of Europe are back. That's right, guys. You guessed it. You know exactly what I was listening to right here, and that is the Champions League. Roll the intro. Like I said, guys, welcome back to it, Merengue Culé. This video needs no proper intro. You guys know what is coming up, what Real Madrid has to do to go to the next round of the Champions League. It's not going to be easy. It's been 2 years since we have gone through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League after enjoying a full 9 years worth of going to the semifinals and to the finals, obviously, where we won 4 Champions Leagues. 3 in a row. The Kings of Europe are back. Let me remind you guys that prior to us going to the semifinals for 9 years in a row, we went through a dry spell of 6 consecutive years where we fell in the round of 16, and we don't want those ghosts to come back and haunt us. In front of us, we have what may not be necessarily a monster of a team, a giant of the competition. It definitely seems like a monster to us with our state of being. Guys, it is no joke. I don't have to hype you guys. I don't have to lie to you guys that Real Madrid is not coming into this game with very good odds for them. It seems like whenever we had the draw of the Champions League for the round of 16, that if you haven't seen our live reactions to that draw, the link will be right up here. But it seems that whenever we made that draw, there was a little more excitement in the fans, right? We had avoided some tougher teams. We had gone Atalanta, who, while it did seem like it was one of the tougher teams between the weaker teams, it definitely felt like a team that we could most definitely beat. And it still is a team that we can most definitely beat, but the odds have never been more against our favor. Going into this game with 9 players missing. That's right, you guys know what's going on. 9 players missing, with 4 to 5 of them being normal, regular starters for Real Madrid. None other than our captain, Sergio Ramos, probably one of the most influential players in our gameplay. The guy that, if he's not out there winning tackles, winning headers, scoring goals in the last minute, then he is at least commanding the team, making sure they don't crumble under the pressure that the Champions League definitely comes with. Aside from Sergio Ramos, we're going to be missing our best player of the season, our best player ever since Ronaldo has left the club, and that, guys, you know who it is. Karim Benzema, the guy that has been our top scorer of the club since Ronaldo left. Top scorer of the season with 14 goals in La Liga, 5 assists, I believe. Top scorer of our Champions League campaign this season with 4 goals so far. He is going to be missing this game. And when you look at games in which Karim Benzema doesn't play, you look at very dull games. Guys, for those of you that watched the game against Valladolid this weekend, it was not a fun one to watch. Seeing Mariano up there was very disgusting, to say the least. And it's, frankly, very scary for us. Very, very, very scary not to have Karim Benzema. I am not going to lie to you. Among others, we're missing, obviously, our star player, Eden Hazard, who, well, hasn't quite shown for us, but nonetheless is our star player. And also Federico Valverde, one of our youngsters who has tremendously improved the depth of the squad in the recent years. And Dani Carvajal, our obviously starter right back, the star right back that has won us so many Champions Leagues in the past already. But I don't want to keep rambling on about Real Madrid because it is time to analyze our opponent, Atalanta. What is up with Atalanta? This team that is commanded by their manager, Gasperini, one of the founding fathers of this new style of football that is currently being played in Italy, where they're no longer playing that defensive style football that was very known of the Italian teams. No, now he has been one of the people that has changed it up, and now Italy plays a very fast attacking football in which it comes exactly against what Real Madrid wants to come up against, which is because they play very, very, very slow pace of game. On the other hand, this Atalanta team plays very much like a cheap Liverpool, so to say. in which they're fast with their counterattacks. They're very proactive. They stretch that field out. They're going to stretch our defense out, try to find all the little flaws in them. They're not going to give us any time to breathe. Our transitions are not the greatest. This season, our transitions are not the greatest. Whether it's offensively or defensively, they have not been the greatest. Over the past couple weeks, our defensive transition has improved a little bit, but Atalanta's going to take us to a whole other level. Their history in the Champions League is growing. Just real quick, in the league, in the Serie A, since 2018, no other team has scored more goals than this Atalanta team. They broke I don't know if they actually broke a record, but they reached 100 goals in one season, I believe a season or two ago. And they're probably going to be a couple shy from breaking it this season again. Aside from that, last year in the Champions League, they nearly reached the semifinals after eliminating a Spanish team, Valencia, scoring a shit ton of goals against them, with Ilicic, one of their star players who we're going to talk about in a little bit, scoring 4 goals against Valencia. Now, we know Valencia isn't the greatest of teams right now in La Liga, but nonetheless, Valencia came into that game as the favorites, and they went out of that game as one of the biggest losers, embarrassed by an Atalanta that played one of the most beautiful football seen out there in Europe right now. And then they went on to face up against PSG, and were this close from eliminating them to reach the semifinals. They were winning, and in the last minutes, PSG turned it around to beat them. So it was a huge upset for Atalanta, an Atalanta team that has already eliminated Ajax this season in the Champions League. They have not quite knocked out a huge team in the Champions League yet, but they're going to be looking to bring down the giant that Real Madrid is. Real quick, let's talk a little more about Atalanta's players. Up top, it is just plain scary. Plain scary. Their top goal scorer, the Colombian Duvan Zapata, with none other than 9 goals in Serie A and 5 assists. And in the Champions League, he has 3 goals so far. Meanwhile, his partner, Luis Muriel, with 14 goals so far in the Serie A and 3 assists. 14 goals, so you're going to be saying, damn, he has not only a lot more goals than Duvan Zapata, which is obviously 5 more goals than him, but he has played half the minutes, which just goes to show how clinical he is. In the Champions League, he has 2 goals so far. So overall, those two rack up 5 goals in the Champions League. That's more than Karim Benzema, especially when I'm going to say the fact that Real Madrid has no player so far this season in the Champions League that has scored 2 goals. No, not one player with 2 goals. Are you kidding me? That just goes on to show the dependency that we have on Karim Benzema, which further emphasizes why I am terrified that he's not going to be here at this game. Aside from that, Ilicic, who has a unique ability to be creative on the field. Honestly, one of the most creative players out there in the game right now. I don't quite have the stat on how many goals he has this season, but definitely a man that Real Madrid is going to want to watch out for. Unfortunately for Atalanta, they are missing one of their main players last season, which is Papu Gomez, who, as most of us know, has moved on to Sevilla after he had a lot of drama with the coach Gasperini and the club itself. So that is, in a sense, a positive for Real Madrid that Atalanta will not have this player. However, Atalanta has 0 injuries to their team. 0 freaking injuries, meaning we come with 9. So a huge handicap. But let's go ahead and talk a little more about Real Madrid. Obviously, as we've already been talking, this season, because of the growing age in our players, we're starting to play a much more slow style of gameplay, right? In which, if Toni Kroos, Casemiro, and Luka Modric are not having a great game, Real Madrid is basically going to crumble. Going to crumble. If we are able to play at the pace of those 3 players, then honestly, there's probably no midfield that can beat our midfield. However, the problem is that many teams outside of La Liga play at a much faster tempo than we are used to in La Liga, which is why it allows us in La Liga to still win a lot of games. But in the Champions League recently, when we saw it in the group stage, we were definitely surprised by a lot of teams. Mönchengladbach, Shakhtar, Inter. However, one thing is certain about Real Madrid, and is that no stats will ever really show what we're capable of. Because the harder the opponent, the more that's at stake in a game, the more that Real Madrid will show up to that game, to show up to that team. We have numerous examples. Barcelona this season, Atletico Madrid, Inter Milan, in the Champions League against Mönchengladbach too when it most mattered. against Sevilla. Like I said, the bigger the stage, the more Real Madrid grows, and that is where Real Madrid has, and all the fans should have all the hope in the world. It's not going to be an easy game, guys. It's not going to be an easy game. We're going to suffer a lot. I can tell you this right now. We're going to concede a goal. I think it would be nearly impossible if we didn't concede a goal. But we can never lose hope with this team. To finish off this video, I want to go run through a potential lineup for Real Madrid. Now, I've been thinking a lot about what Zidane can do because obviously there's not that many options he has. In goal, it's obviously going to be Thibaut Courtois. Right back, I think the defense isn't too hard to predict. Right back spot is going to go for Lucas Vazquez, who's been relatively solid, brings a lot of pace to the team. In the center back spots, we're going to have Varane and Nacho. Nacho, who's been impressing me a lot lately. He's honestly shown phenomenal performances. In our last 4 games in La Liga, we've gotten 3 clean sheets, and Nacho and Varane partnership has been a huge part of that. So yes, Sergio Ramos may be missing, but in Nacho we definitely have someone who we can trust in. On that left back spot, we have Ferland Mendy, who is super solid in the defense. Obviously, extremely fast. It is offensively that sometimes he can bring a little bit of question mark, but defensively, I think we are pretty secure. However, like I said, we're facing against an extremely offensive team. So it's going to be crucial that everyone comes out there extremely focused. Midfield, I think you guys already know who I'm going to name. It is obviously going to be Casemiro, Toni Kroos, and Luka Modric. All 3 players are having a phenomenal season. But it's up top where the questions really come up. Against Valladolid, Zidane opted for Mariano, Vinicius Jr., and Asensio. I don't want to see Mariano. I do not want to see him. I've said it multiple times. The guy is extremely linear, just like Vinicius too, but Mariano is just out of control. It seems like every time he gets the ball, he's a spaz. He's always offsides. Doesn't know how to time his runs. I do not want to see him, at least not in the starting lineup. So that led me to think, what are our other options? And I think, in my opinion, the best solution would be to play Marco Asensio as the false number 9, a player who can drop in and try to generate a little more playing style. Meanwhile, on the left wing, it's going to have to be Vinicius Jr. We're going to have to hope that he's having an inspired game. He's going to have to put the team on his back. If he wants to be a player for the future, it's going to be in games like this. He is going to have to step up. It hasn't been too long ago against Ajax. He honestly carried that team. He was our star player 2 seasons ago whenever he was barely emerging in the team. And he's going to have to go back to that old Vinicius. That old Vinicius that was not scared to take on players, to freaking dribble, to sprint past them. We're going to have to see the Jogo Bonito from the Brazilian. However, what about that right wing? I've thought long and hard about this, and I think I'm actually going to have to go for Isco. A player who I bash on all the time, but Isco, whenever he is defended by, or I guess escorted by the 3 other midfielders of Casemiro, Luka Modric, and Toni Kroos, Isco can have a more of a free roaming position. We know he's still very capable with the ball. He still has a very good vision. It's just whenever he has to play as an actual center mid that he lacks a lot of qualities because he doesn't have the rhythm to defend. However, when you put him as a 4th center mid, maybe he can actually help us out a lot, and he doesn't actually have to stick in the central of the midfield. He can roam around, provide balls for Marco Asensio, who's going to be making pretty good runs. Vinicius Jr., who's going to be looking to make runs all the whole time too. Personally, I think that is the best lineup that Zidane can put out there. I have a feeling he's going to put Mariano, but I can only hope. Guys, as always, you know the drill. Leave your prediction for this game down below. Our biggest game of the season so far. Like I said, it's not going to be an easy one, but I am very hopeful. With Real Madrid, you can never lose hope. Guys, we're going to be doing our live reaction video, so you can most definitely expect that out of us. If you're new to the account, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. We have lots of things to look forward to. If it's not in the Champions League, it's in La Liga. It is a great time to be a Madrid fan because we're going to get to see this team rise up from the bottom that they are right now. We are going to get to see them rise up, whether it's in this game or in the future. So you may as well hit the like button and subscribe down below. Of course, I will be seeing y'all in 2 days for that Champions League matchup against Atalanta. Until then, I cannot wait, and I will see you guys then. A la Madrid.